Hello, glad to see you. Welcome. Make yourself comfortable, just like at home. If you've ever wondered how the market works and where to start, you're in the right place. Today, I'll show you one of the approaches I use in practice. Together, we'll look at how it works. This isn't theory detached from reality, but real process examples that help you better understand what to pay attention to and how the logic of action is built. And if you want to explore more, check out my community. There, I share my observations, explain my steps, and I'm open to questions. This format can be especially helpful for those who are just starting to get interested and want to ease into it gradually. Get comfortable, let's get started. Alright, everything's set for work. I want to pick the helper called Alligator. It consists of several lines that react to changes and show whether the movement phase is active or there is a pause. Okay, next we pick our team. Now is the perfect time to start. I can't wait. There is a stable movement in one direction. The lines of my helper point upwards, confirming the current momentum. There is a slight slowdown, and that's when I decide to take off. Good, let's see what's next. Friends, before we continue, I want to say a few words. In my community, I share practical examples, explain how I approach data analysis, and point out the key aspects I focus on during the process. Everything happens in a friendly format where you can ask any questions and move at your own pace. If you are just starting to explore this topic, this format can help you gradually understand and gain confidence in the process. Access to the community is currently open. You can join via the link in the description or pinned comment. I regularly communicate with participants and strive to create a space where it's comfortable to join in, observe, and ask questions along the way. If you are interested, I'll be glad if you check out how it's organized. Meanwhile, let's continue. What do we have here? Let's see. After a decline, the movement slowed down and went sideways for some time. Then there was a breakout upwards, which can be considered a change in direction. The tool I rely on also started moving up. I think this is clear. Aiming for the top again. Let's keep moving forward, friends. Here I see the movement continues in the same direction as before. There is a confident rise, and the tool I use confirms this with its lines pointing up. I decide to keep following this movement. Let's keep the pace, friends. Focus is key. Let's see what's here. The movement is downwards. Approaching an area where there was prior activity was a reason to enter. I know the reaction. The chart tested a higher level and reversed. Ultimately, the direction held and the result was positive. Good. Let's act. So, the further we go, the more interesting it gets for me. We've already seen how my approach looks in action. If you want to dive deeper into the topic and observe the process in more detail, I invite you to join my community. There I share my observations, provide practical examples, and regularly interact with those who are just beginning to explore this field. This format is designed so you can join calmly and at your own pace. Watch, ask questions, analyze the logic step by step, and gradually build your understanding. If this rhythm resonates with you, the link is in the description or pinned comment. Take a look at how everything is set up. You might find it interesting. Now, let's continue. Let's look here. After the direction change, there is a brief pause with slight fluctuations within one range. The movement is rising to the upper boundary of this zone, from which I decide to go down. We will watch. Good job, guys! Let's continue. So what do we have here? I observe a developing movement in the opposite direction and a reversal of the tool I rely on. I'm not in a hurry to say the direction has fully changed. It's important that the chart returns to a previous key level. I think the movement is heading there to test it. So my decision is... It's great to use your knowledge, but even better when you see where it leads. It's pure joy, friends. Let's move here. The movement temporarily slowed and moved in a narrow range. Before that, there was a steady decline, so I continued to consider this direction. After the chart settled below the guiding line, I go down. Good. Let's move on. Here, the movement held within one range near a level for a long time. There was an attempt to break downwards, but it quickly pushed back. This behavior often indicates that the opposing force dominates. In such cases, a movement in the opposite direction often begins. So, let's take off. Alright guys, let's do one more. As I noted earlier, there was a significant deviation from the main direction. After that, movement returned to a key zone and responded with a reversal. The tool I rely on also reversed upwards. All this indicates an attempt to continue the previous momentum, so we fly up again. Do you see this? On one hand, it's familiar, but on the other, it's always nice, as if it's happening for the first time with me. So we've just taken a short journey together. You've seen how my approach works in practice. Everything I showed you is the result of long-term practice and gradual work that anyone can get acquainted with, even without special training. If you want to continue exploring this topic, come check out my community. There, I share examples, analyze different approaches, and regularly communicate with those taking their first steps. The link is in the description or pinned comment under this video. Thank you for being here. May your path be filled with more clarity and confidence. See you soon.